Good morning, or should I say wakey wakey, or cockerel doodle doo, everyone. Here we are, Monday morning, a brand new cockerel doodle doo, and a brand new guest, my space dealer, the one that's got me hooked. Johnny, welcome to Tottenham on Tour, and how you doing, brother?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Despite
And
the evening news that's just broken.
Yep, and that is what we're about to get into. So let's go.
Tottenham on Tour.
All right, so the news you were talking about, Johnny, is Sammy Mockbell has just spoken. I'm just going to read this article out. So the headline, Antonio Conte faces a crunch 24 hours with developments over his Tottenham future entering a crucial stage ahead of his planned return to work on Tuesday, with the Italian yet to be sacked. Bloody hell, despite expectations he would be.
Try and keep a straight face.
Oh, mate, I'm going to try and keep a straight face. This is the game you have to play. Antonio Conte faces a crunch. Remember these buzzwords now, people. A crunch 24 hours with developments over his immediate future at Tottenham entering a crucial stage with the head coach scheduled to return to work on Tuesday. Conte has spent the international break back in his native Italy amid the expectation that he would lose his job following the manager's now infamous verbal attack on the players after their 3-3 draw at Southampton. They left that board. There was a dig at the board. I'm not letting you get away with it, Sammy Mockbell. Sources at the start of last week indicated that the former Chelsea boss would have vacated the role by Monday. However, Conte remains the Spurs head coach as talks over his expected exit continues. But developments over his future are expected to come to a head due to with Conte due to return back to the club's Enfield HQ on Tuesday. Where is it? Players who have been on international duty will start filtering back at the start of the week, and the plan has always been for Conte to report back to duty in order to greet them. But the intentions of both Conte and Tottenham will become clearer given the head coach's anticipated return. And that is the end of the article. Johnny.
I mean, listen, look, the press, can we actually even believe what they're saying? I mean, I don't think the press actually know what's going on, personally, because every day this week we were expecting news as fans that Conte was going to be given his marching orders.
Yep.
One way or the other, whether it's by mutual consent. Then there was rumours that he wasn't well. Then there was rumours that we were going to, part ways, and maybe Stellini will stay, maybe Stellini will go. That was Brian Mason. I think it's just a farce. It's just a farce. The fans are. It's like the fans don't count here. But
right. Don't you mean the clients? The clients don't count, Johnny.
The clients don't count. The client reference numbers don't count. I mean, the thing is, for me, this was a marriage made in hell. I mean, you've got a temperamental manager and a trigger, sack-happy chairman, and it was just never going to work. I always got the feeling, I don't know about everybody else, but the Conte was almost doing us a favour. I'm better than this. I've got nothing else on at the moment, and I'll do this for you now. I do think, though, that the writing's been on the wall for a long time. There's been
When do you think, Johnny? When do you think the first parts of the writing on the wall for you? When did it start?
Well, February. I think it was February last year against Burnley.
Okay.
He threw his toys out the pram.
Yep.
We weren't playing well. He was saying, maybe I'm not a good coach. They don't listen to me. For me, that was the start of it all. That was the start of it all. I mean, has he improved the players? Has he improved? Last season, look, we all marvel about what happened last season. We finished the season very strongly. Some people will say that we didn't finish strongly. It was more Arsenal collapsed. But I think it was a combination of both things. And we really did start this season full of optimism. Strangest thing for me is that Conte didn't demand the two centre-backs, because I think most fans would agree it was the glaring miss. And that was the strange thing for me, because Conte, instead of coming out and throwing his toys out the pram, which I thought he was going to do, he turned around and he said he's happy with his defence, and Eric Dyer could be world class. And you know, come on, give me some, you know, treat me with, you know, let's be serious. Come on. And I then thought, someone's kidding someone here. What you know, what is going on? We started the season really well. I mean, I think it was our best ever start. But they're
That was
just
the jinx.
an undercurrent somewhere along the line, you know, with him. It just seems to be obvious that there's no sort of fighting spirit or any heart in that team. And, you know, we will always blame Levy because everything at the end of the day is Levy. But as the manager, your job is to inspire your team to perform above and beyond. And I just don't feel like he's done it. And I don't want him back. I know he's a winner. I understand that. But he was just never right for our club. I'm sure he'll go on to great things elsewhere, as they always do. You're guaranteed to win something. As even Dombele, who was absolute toilet with us, is going to go on and win something. So I'm sure, and I wish him well. You know, I don't wish Conte any ill harm, but I feel we are a project club with a win now manager.
That's the perfect way of saying it. Perfect way.
Yeah, I think that's it, really.
So you know what you got to look at as well? There's two ways of looking at this as well. It's, as Sammy Mockbell said, the players are coming back now from international duties, whether it be some tomorrow, Tuesday, whatever. I remember, you know, when you go into school and you know you're in trouble and you just don't want to go in the morning, like, oh, I've left my PE kit at home. Oh, I've got a stomachache. Mate, it's got to either feel like that or one of those I want to be a fly on the wall, get in moments. It's not a good situation to be coming back to, is it?
Who's he talking about? I mean, like, who is he actually? I was actually at Southampton, and you know, the person I was with, I turned around to him and I said, like, we're 3-1 up. You look like you've gone to the worst concert you've ever been to in your life. You know, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. But I mean, who was he actually calling out? He called out the entire team. Yep. Everybody is selfish. Yep. Kane, everybody. How's that going to go down? I mean, certain people would just take it on the chin, obviously.
Yep, Harry would be one of them.
Maybe. You see, that's the thing, you know. When we talk about the players that are still left over at the club.
Yep.
You know, you look when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal, there's only 2 players left at that club, Xhaka and Rob Holding.
Yep.
I think if you draw a parallel line, I think we got at least 9 to 10 players that are still there. So we automatically assume that the people he's talking about would be the Davis and the Dyers. How would the fans feel if the ringleaders of this were, say, Sonny and Kane, for example? We don't know, but I'm just saying, how would that play with the fan base? I don't know, but I'd love to be a fly on that wall when he walks in.
So you're the fly on the wall. You're not that, oh, I've left my homework at home or I've got
no,
bad
I mean, I want to be there. I mean, I wouldn't miss this for the world, right? I mean, I want to see when he walks in and he starts telling the players. Can I ask another question?
Of course you can, brother.
Why isn't he? Why isn't he not training the players that are left behind? Do they mean jack shit to him? I mean, do they not mean anything to him? I mean, you didn't go on international duty, so therefore you're not worthy of my time. I know he needed a little break. I mean, I'm sure we'll come on to him in a minute, but Nagelsmann's getting grief because he went skiing.
Exactly.
An international break, right?
Exactly. Mate, it's a double side, but you're right. But you're looking at it with the international break. First of all, you got to say, Spurs didn't officially say this, but it was widely said by all the journalists, like Monday night, we're going to find out within 48 hours. Well, Monday plus 48 hours means Wednesday to me, not the following Monday that we're fastly approaching. It's going to be, I mean, I think this has got to come to a head tomorrow. If the vast majority of them are coming back Tuesday, they've got to get ready for Everton.
I'm laughing. I mean, like, you know, just when you thought this comedy club couldn't get any funnier, right? this drops tonight. And the thing is, it just proves, I don't think the press know. So do we take this with a pinch of salt, or do we take this with all seriousness? It's hard to know which way to go on this.
It is. I think the only thing we can take for assurance is that Conte is going to be due back. He's the manager of the football club. Whether people want him in or want him out, his title right now is Tottenham Hotspur manager, head coach, whichever one you want to do. This is really building up to like the Who Shot Phil Mitchell in EastEnders. It's like duff, 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 duff. Literally just waiting for this. And this.
Who's going to go down injured? Who's going to go down injured now? He's going to turn around and go, I ain't playing for him. He called me.
Well, look at Emerson got himself injured, didn't he, for Brazil in his debut? So he's God knows how long he'll be out for. Ben Davies is
out for 6 weeks.
Yep, but Lloris is coming back. But we'll see. We are going to see, because I think the next 48 hours, Spurs official have to speak, don't they? They officially have to. I mean, are you going to Everton next Monday?
No, I'm not. And I'd like to take my hat off and applaud any Spurs fan that is going there next Monday, because for me that's called self-harming. And
mate, do you know what? Ryan,
I love my club. I mean, I'm there.
Mate, you go length and breadth. You go length and breadth. But this is the thing.
I would go. I love the club, but the heart's being ripped out of it at the moment, and we just need. You just could not write what has happened to this club this season. I mean, really, the coach dying.
Do you know what? This is, give us your list. Give us your list.
I've got a list somewhere. Hang on a minute. Right. So, I mean, hang on. We got the medical team. I mean, like, where do we go with that one? I mean, like, that's a story in itself.
It is.
Benton Core goes down. He's screaming. The players surround him. Yeah, what's the matter with you, mate? Come on, get up. Right. They make him get up. Yeah, walk off the pitch
with an ACL.
What are you bitching about now? You try and go back, and he tries to go back on. No, he's can't believe it. Then they're walking round the pitch. All you can see is the pictures of him in agony, holding his head like this, like this. He should have been in a stretcher, in a brace. Anyway, so our medical team, or whatever it's called. So this season, I'll just read them out because I won't remember them all. Yep. We've had injured Son, Kulu, Richie, Romero, Mora, Sessegnon, Basuma, Bentancur, Lloris, Davis, and Tanganga. It's like a who's who. I mean, I know it's been a hard season, and this is what happens when you don't rotate. Yep. We've also had, the players' form's been shocking. Son can't kick a ball. The fitness coach, unfortunately, dies.
Yep.
Conte's gallbladder. Okay. Yep. We never knew whether Conte was going to sign his contract even before this kicked off. We're in the dark. We don't know whether the Kane's going to sign his contract. We got Paratici, who could get banged up at any moment, right? But don't tell us the fans. Don't tell us the fans, because we're the last ones that need to know whether or not he's going to go to jail. Just keep on plugging. What happens as soon as we get announced, the transfer window closes, we see Paratici sitting there like he hasn't got a care in the world. Don't tell us. Then we got the cup defeats. I mean, they were
shambolic,
embarrassing. They were embarrassing. And then we got the Doherty farce. I mean, a club that forgot, right, that we had 8 players out on loan, right? So we had to cancel his contract. And then we got a chairman, right, where we lose 50 million, and he thinks, I'll tell you what, best thing for me to do is to give myself £500,000 pay rise. Then he goes on and he says, Beyonce, like, this is his big moment, Beyonce. He's so carried away. Keep selling. Daniel, what? We're only meant to have 4 concerts. You sold 5. Oh, well, we'll come to the council. I mean, dear me, honestly, it's like beggars belief. But we do have go-karting on a seriously plus note. Oh my God, you couldn't write. It's like a stand-up comedy, right? And we are the brunt. I go out to the street and they say, "Oh, Jonathan, how you doing, mate? Your club, what a joke!" Right? I mean, that's every fan, and I just have to laugh now. I have to laugh it off because no one can take us seriously. Really, it's like anyway.
Well, do you know what? I thought this was going to be a good one today. I didn't know I'd laugh quite as much as I'm going to.
Well, if you don't laugh, what will we do? I mean, you might as well buy me a rope with my season ticket. Especially when I mean, I've had mine now, right? I mean, the prices have already gone up.
Yep. And then what percentage are you still hearing on those seasons?
Well, so mine's gone up 3%,
Yep.
purely because I had it in my contract. But
Yep.
I'm hearing 6 to 9%. By the way, Brian, I actually don't drink. I've just taken up drinking since in the last 3 months of supporting this club. I think. Oh shit! I think
that's what happens.
Oh shit! Everything's my beard's just gone everywhere. Never mind. I think we're in turmoil.
We are. Just to add to it, Johnny, let's get your thoughts now. Obviously, we're going to talk a bit about. I know your thoughts on Conte. You've elaborated on it a bit here, but now we've got the manager merry-go-round, or as I called it earlier on today, manager top trumps. It seems we're playing. Are we getting an old one? No. I've got a far superior one in a young manager. Have you got a defensive man? No, I've got an attacking manager. Has he got Premier League experience? No, he's got European experience.
I know. You know what we're waiting for, don't you? What's going to happen is we're waiting for Harry to come back, and Daniel's going to put all the names in a hat, and he's going to pull them out. Right? Sorry, Harry. Right? We can't get that one. Right? Too expensive. How about that one? No. Sorry, we can't do that one. He's in a job, and he said he wouldn't touch us with a barge pole. I think the thing is here, I do worry that whilst many people are happy with what Conte said, let's be serious, there's a lot of truth in what he said. But I think he's done damage outside the club. I mean,
yes.
It was a challenging job for most people. But is it now become such a poison chalice that nobody would want to do that for fear of destroying their own, destroying their career? And that does worry me, that certain managers that we would want. For me, I think it's imperative that we get a manager in now. I really don't want my manager to be assessing this squad in the summer, playing an Australian, Wallaby 11, right?
Yep.
Okay. Because the level is too low. I need a manager to come in and see them in a competitive environment, see the players that Conte talks about as being no good, get them out the club, but do it now. Assess them now over the next 10 games. Are these guys going to play for me? You can tell. Are they going to play? Are they good enough? And by doing that, it will give Paratici time, if he's not in jail.
Who knows, mate? The Zagreb manager could do stuff from jail. Maybe he'll do stuff from jail.
I know. If he's not in jail, that he can plan the transfer window. Because look, let's be serious. Right now, all DOFs, right, are out there looking for players. Okay, they would have a plan. It's pointless. If a manager comes in the summer, he's going to say, "Well, I've got my own ideas." The chances of them combining at that point, which mean he'd have to scrap it, go again. We don't want that. So I think we need a manager that will come in as soon as possible. But that cuts us right down. And because there's only a handful of managers. We've got Pochettino. What can you say? What can you say? I mean, I had many years under Poch, but it's not for me, right?
Yeah.
You've got Enrique. You've now got Nagelsmann. We did have Tuchel. We got Gallardo, who's a particular favourite of mine, but is totally unrealistic. So which of those managers is going to come? Everyone will say Nagelsmann is totally unrealistic, and I totally get that. And, we can but dream. But the guy's 35. Do you want to take the Real Madrid job just now? Because if you do fail, 36, 37, where do you go from there? Real Madrid is the pinnacle.
Yep.
I feel if he does come to Spurs, and Spurs have tried twice, 2019 after Pochettino, and I think when he was near the end of his Red Bull reign, we tried again. should he come to Spurs, if he failed, and when I mean by failure, there's all different types of failure. He could get us playing very good football, but not win us a trophy. But play exciting, progressive, front foot football, and people could see the progression. He could then just turn around and say, look, look what was behind me. I did better than these guys.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't win anything, but, look at my football, look at theirs. And then he can still go on to the Real Madrid. But if he was to be successful and deliver a trophy, not only would he be a hero there, but his managerial stock would rise. And then he's got the chance to go to, a Real Madrid. I think the managers who are in employment right now, we're going to have the same issue.
Yep.
How much is Levy going to pay for them to be released from their contracts? Wait till August the 31st to get the manager.
Mate, we're probably sat at Conte 2 days before Everton at the weekend, knowing us, like we did 6 days before the Carabao Cup or something. But if it was to be Nagelsmann, because I know Nagelsmann, I've said, is the crown jewel in the managers that are available that we can get. If we were to get him, would you be happy if we were to get him and then he starts in the summer, or would you want him in?
I really would like him in. I would really like him in now. I mean, listen, I would say, Ten Hag came in and observed, didn't he, without actually coming into the club. I don't mind that. But he really needs to start assessing the club, whether it's through videos, watching training. I don't mind that, but a total hands-off, not coming in, not getting a feel for the club, until the summer, I think would be, a huge mistake. It's hard to believe that this manager is 35 years of age. I've read lots of things about him, being, confident, overconfident, but he's young, he's charismatic. What do you expect? What do you expect? At the age of 27, to have that level of success, you have to have belief in yourself, unbelievable belief. And how hard is it at the age of 27 to come into a dressing room when, you're not a top pro or what have you, and to start telling maybe a 31-year-old professional who's played all his life, actually, you're not good enough for me. You're not doing what I want you to do.
Well, this is what we need, Johnny. The way I look at it, I think if we're to get, let's say we wrapped him up this week, but he doesn't start till the summer, he wants to take some time out, assessing the players on the pitch via video or whatever, rather than seeing their stinky attitudes in the changing room. Obviously, he can address that in the summer, but he can actually look at the players from the outside and go, right, this is how I'm going to play. Is he going to do it? It might even benefit him, in my opinion. What do you reckon?
Oh, well, listen, I actually think he's the type of manager that will basically look at his squad, and whilst he might not be happy with it, he will adapt. You see, Conte, I'll be careful here because people always think, I've got an agenda with Conte, and I don't have an agenda. But Conte,
I don't know what you're talking about. People don't think I've got an agenda for someone either.
Listen, I can't stand a manager that plays one system, week in, week out. Don't rotate. This is it. For me, I turn up. I know exactly what I'm going to get. You haven't got a clue what you're going to get with Nagelsmann. Every week it can be different. The thing is, what he will do, he will come in and he will assess that squad, and he will adapt the play to suit what he has until he gets what he wants 100%.
Yep.
So, how do you work with Eric Dyer? I grant you you're going to need a miracle. But we all know, every Spurs fan knows, we need the two centre backs. So let's not go there and pull that one apart. Every manager, whoever it is, comes in, needs those two centre backs. So let's assume he gets those two centre backs. He will 100% need a goalkeeper that can play with his feet, because Nagelsmann will expect that. But I just think that he will see and utilise and get the best out of our team, rather than turning around and saying, "This is my system. This player, this player, this player, this player, and this player don't suit it. They're never going to play. You can sign who you like. They're not playing." I don't believe he's that sort of coach. He's the type of coach that is not afraid to change things around. I mean, at Bayern, he came in at Bayern Munich. They were a club that played down the flanks, crossed more balls than any other club, I think, in Europe. And he just said, well, I don't want to play like that anymore. I don't know if that's arrogance or what. I want to play through the middle, break the lines through the middle. He's got sacked here. He's lost Lewandowski, and he's had to use Choupo-Moting, right? I mean, come on, right? They're not exactly on a par, okay? No. But he still managed to get a tune out of him. I think this would be, for me, a much bigger coup for us to get Nagelsmann than to get Conte. Not that Conte is a worse manager than Nagelsmann. I just think he is a much better fit, progressive, exciting football, the Spurs way that Daniel spoke about but never delivered. I lost the DNA, he said. I made a mistake. And what did he do? Make the same fucking mistake again and again.
And right? Again. And again.
So this is the chance. This, for me, is the chance to put all the ills right.
But you say that, Johnny, the final question. If Nagelsmann comes in, he's going to want a very particular set of players, isn't he? And he's not going to want, okay, this is who I want from column A, go get me the column C or D or E equivalent. He's going to be very, very, and surely, like I said, with Conte's comments, it may have done damage outside the club, but one thing it's got to have done is got to have alerted managers to say, right, I need some assurances.
Well, yeah, I mean, but, I think it's very clear that Nagelsmann would have loved Harry Kane.
Yep.
I mean, Bayern Munich have been linked with him. I mean, it wasn't a secret. And I think, if you look at the front line there's a lot to like about our team. Okay. I'm not going to listen to all this negative stuff that, everyone's shit and we're not capable. I agree we're playing very, very poorly. But there's something that's not right throughout the club. We all know about Daniel. We all know about all of that. But I don't think Conte's been helping. And I think a young manager coming in with a different ethos, maybe the players are bored. Maybe the players, if you're a progressive player that's played on the front foot all your career and suddenly, you're playing for such a pragmatic manager.
Yep.
Maybe you get bored with it and it's not how you want to play football or how you dreamt of playing football, and they became disillusioned. I'm not saying it's right, but maybe that's what happened.
There we go. We'll have to wait and see. Well, Johnny, that was your YouTube debut, mate. How did you feel?
Oh yeah, I popped my cherry, and
well, there you go, mate. And listen, it was because of you that I popped my Spaces cherry. So you never forget your first, mate. And listen, I've put your Twitter handle as a banner. Do you right for me to put it on?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So for everyone, listen,
is that it? Is that my Twitter?
That is your Twitter handle. So if anyone wants to hear more from Johnny, whether it be his tweets are hysterical, I will retweet most of them. He is a very, very funny lad. And most definitely his spaces are incredible. So there's a lot of people that have started watching Tottenham on Tour that have heard me in spaces. Well, now you're seeing the man that creates the spaces. So, Johnny, it's a pleasure. And we will definitely get you on again. So that is Johnny's Twitter there.
Thanks very much, Brian. It's been a pleasure. Listen, please God, when we next speak, we'll all be in a happier place. And people would have got over their increase in their season tickets, and we will have a manager that we're all happy to have. And that's what we can look forward to with some positivity, because we've had enough negativity this season.
And that's it. And listen, Johnny, stay behind the scenes. I'm just going to finish the show off, and then we'll carry on chatting. But like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, Levy out.